Welcome everybody to Orwell. This game may hit a little close to home. It's an interesting one. Let me explain it to you. So, we're online here. This is Sims. He is our advisor for the Orwell system. We are going to hopefully find a terrorist today. So there has been the incident. As you guys saw, there was a little bit of an explosion. We're just going to go read the newspaper article for the explosion here. So we can browse the newspaper article. We have an unknown person who is our suspect right now. So let's read more on the Bonton explosion at the Freedom Memorial. Kills 3. Obliterated the Freedom Memorial in Bonton, leaving nothing but rubble behind. Approximately 750. 3 people killed, 5 bystanders severely wounded. Freedom Memorial was nearly completely destroyed. An anonymous letter containing the first 3 stanzas of the German folk song Die Gedanken sind frei, the thoughts are free, have reached local authorities. Prime Minister Blaine immediately issued a public press statement, firmly condemning the assault, and put the nation on high alert until the perpetrators have been brought to justice. So let's have a look at our unknown person here. So, unknown person is who we're investigating. We have to work out who the unknown person is. Now in that video we did see a CCTV footage of a blue-haired woman who is known to police. That is this woman here, Cassandra Watergate. Now the game gives us data chunks, so anything that's kind of highlighted is something that might be of interest. So if we drag the name here, upload it to Orwell, we see that we have Cassandra Watergate as our unknown person. We drag the profile picture, and we give Cassandra a profile picture. So we still want to round out this profile a little bit. We can put their history, such as the charge was an assault on a police officer there. Officer Franklin had been struck by an unknown object and became unresponsive. The protesters at the origin of the assault were forcibly moved, where the suspect was found kneeling and weeping on the ground. When asked to lay on the ground with her hands behind her back, the suspect cooperated immediately. It is always good to read the information here, because sometimes other things can conflict, so we need as much data as we can get. We have a news article about Cassandra here. Is this woman a terrorist? The young woman is accused of having hit the victim in the head with a large brick. The incident occurred during a rampage at the Freedom Plaza as part of a demonstration against the newest amendments to the government's model project, the Safety Bill. She is an artist, so we know her profession is artist. We'll throw that into Orwell, and we know it was part of a demonstration, so we'll chuck that into Orwell as well. So our advisor here also finds us other additional websites that might be of interest. So we have Cassandra's port.folio. So this is just kind of like a blog that she's written about herself. We can throw up an additional profile picture as well. So then we see we have multiple profile pictures that we can select from, her mugshot or her happy smiley one. So she quit her day job to focus on an art career. Let's throw that in there. That adds to her history. And we also see that we have a UTEL account under the name of Cassie92, so we'll throw that in there as well, because getting an alias is useful. Picture of a cat, not particularly interesting right now. She has a self-portrait here. That beaut is me. The title is The Businessman's Forgotten Daughter, or Victim of Traditionalism in Pink. We'll chuck that up in there because that has family information. She's the daughter of entrepreneurs. Now you see that there is other information here. A colourful inhabitant of a wonderland right behind the rainbow. That kind of information is not particularly relevant, so we can disable that there. Because we're not it's kind of like alluding to an address, but obviously Wonderland right behind the rainbow is not really much of an address. Now, this is where this game touches a little bit of a nerve. Now that we have access to a Utel account, we can go to what's called the Listener and listen in on her private conversations. So she's speaking to a person called Josie. Can't seem to find the credit card. And Cassandra here she lifted the platinum card from his desk. That's interesting. And it highlights these data nodes as well, which is it's useful. I mean, it's the way that the game works. That is how it is. So Josie doesn't mind. Unknown person doesn't mind. Joseph Langley, my fearless attorney. So we do have a bit of a name. So it looks like he is having a business meeting with a client, apparently. We've learnt that her parents might own a pharmacy or something there as well. And she hasn't told her parents about her relationship. Okay. So we'll chuck in Big Pharma, parents. So we know that she's the daughter of pharmaceutical entrepreneurs. We can add a relationship here, so Joseph Langley. We'll throw that in. And we can see that she has a relationship with Joseph Langley. And if we chuck this data node in, this is where things get a little bit risky. So we can see that it's interpreted as she stole the credit card. And that we can lock the credit card. And that the credit card is now locked. So based on literally this one sentence here of her lifting the card, even if Joseph says he doesn't mind, we've now deactivated that credit card and we assume she is a thief of the credit card. So this is the website of her parents, the pharmaceutical people. So we can see here, we'll chuck in the daughter, keeping it in the family. Alice Watergate the mother, Bruno Watergate the father. We can throw this in here as well. And we're unsure if it's the same person or not. But based on the glasses, I think it is. And then we can also add that she was a junior COO. We can also look around the website, see if there's anything more. So if you look under the jobs tab here, it looks like they are hiring a COO. So we'll throw that in there to say that she quit her job as a COO, and that kind of it adds a bit to the profile. Looks like we got a new article from the national paper, just saying that Ministry of Security is saying that their crime is down, which is good. Crime rates have been continuously declining over the past several years as a direct result of the implementation of the safety bill. So we have another article here. This is dated a little while ago, actually. So the current date is April 13th, 2017. So just reading this article here, we have some evidence that the case was closed due to a lack of evidence. But that is highlighted yellow. You can see it actually conflicts here with the possibility that the case was actually closed because the wealthy family might have paid the bribe, essentially, and paid for the outcome to go in her favor. We also see that the victim, a father of 2 young sons, was rushed into hospital, still in an induced coma and unresponsive to treatment. Now we do see the defense successfully brought a video evidence depicting the incident in question, which eventually turned the tides of the proceedings. So it appears as though there may be evidence for it. So there's a lack of evidence that she actually did it, is quite possible, so I'm going to chuck this into Orwell here. So whenever we have a conflict, if we make the decision, that's it. We can't change that decision anymore in Orwell. So we're just looking at Cassandra's timeline here. It's essentially a Twitter-like feed almost, a Facebooky Twitter kind of thing. Got another profile picture, just to see if there's anything that is of interest to us based on the time between when she was a COO, when she became an artist, and if she had anything related to becoming a, I don't want to say terrorist, but some kind of vigilante, some kind of an activist, so to speak. So she does have interest here of art, music, and activism, so we'll definitely chuck that into Orwell. So it looks like on March 1st, she quit the pharmacy. We see January 29th, she did get a little bit mouthy, let's say, on fake Twitter here. So we're going to chuck that in. It's not evidence per se, but it's worthy of note. We can also see that she put in a relationship with Joseph Langley. So apparently in a relationship with her lawyer. So we're also seeing here that she did change the color of her hair. So that kind of indicates, with the change in the profile picture as well, something of interest. Looks like we also have a bit of a nickname for her here. Catharsis. That's... I can't do that with my lisp, I can't pronounce that. But yeah, that's definitely noteworthy. Also, it seems like they have a little bit of an activist group. The Freedom Plaza on Friday. This is on July 6th. So they went on Friday. Now is that the Punchy Punchy? So on July 25th, if we take the 14 days off for the 2 weeks, that would take that down to like the 11th. So it's quite possible that that's indicating that date. So it looks like we have another little bit of conflict as well. Mary, her best friend of all times, but then up here, later in the timeline, Mary, just shut your freaking mouth, okay? And this was in relation to the whole government hate. There's nothing else about Mary. But because this is the more recent one, and there's indication like she's giving a continual cold shoulder, I think we're gonna have to put in the little bit of hatred there. Looks like we have another conversation to listen into here. Hear about the Freedom Plaza bombing. Don't remind me of the history of that place. Enough that I have to catch a bus from there every day. Let's chuck that in for there for sure, because that's a bit interesting. So it could be coincidence. So happy when Goldfells accepted me into thought. I desperately wanted to go to prove my worth and cause. So it looks like we have an activist group called Thought. We should probably find out who this Goldfells guy is. It looks like now they're realizing the card has been... Well, they're realizing something's the matter with the card. They don't know it's been cancelled. Just questioning why it's not working here. So we're already having an effect on their lives. It looks like Cassandra's getting a little bit angry at Joseph, because Joseph has the appointment with a client, and it looks like Cassandra's actually on some kind of medication, metharin. She spells bad when she's angry. Alright, so it looks like they had a little bit of a falling out here. Possible that Joseph might be seeing somebody behind her back, maybe? But that's possibly reading into stuff there. So I'm just gonna go back to her parents' website here, because there is metharin in the list of products, and we know it's an antidepressant. We can also go on the Thoughts website here. This is our band of freedom fighters. So Catharsis, never going to pronounce that correctly, does have a post on here. We're there because we wanted a peaceful protest. So, it looks like Cassandra has posted something to our timeline just now. Finally somebody who has the grit and explosives to show how futile surveillance is. But I was just looking at the Thoughts website here. If we look at entry 9, this is one that Kasathis is never going to pronounce that correctly. She wrote it here. They wanted a peaceful protest. Just a little bit of a conflict. We're going to have to read into this here to see what might be happening. So it looks like we have an account for Goldfells here. Can't add anything to that list here. We're technically not investigating Goldfells yet. We're only investigating Cassandra right now. So that's the only data chunks that we're going to get highlighted here. But just reading through this article for a little bit of interest, it does look as though Goldfells knows this German folk song, which was the letter was, or the note was found at the scene of the crime there. So reading through these articles, we don't have much to go on right now as to whether this is more how she feels, it was more of a peaceful protest, or if we have her anger. I am leaning towards going for the other one here, the peaceful part. Maybe this was said in the heat of the moment, perhaps? And I also chose this when I was testing out the game here. So I do want to quickly see if anything changes. Just going to listen on another conversation here. Juliet Carrington. Having a quick conversation with her. Let's have a look. So Juliet is just kind of disagreeing with the particular post on her timeline about the attack. Saying it shouldn't be a thing that she should put on there. Cassandra just kind of defending herself, as Cassandra is allowed to do. Alright, so it looks like we have something of interest here. Cassie, you hurt that officer to save me, and you succeeded. How can it not have been my fault? Juliet, I smashed the freaking skull of a father of two because I lost it. So Cassandra is definitely admitting her guilt. So I feel like we should go with this. This is a definite admission of guilt. So she did admit to a violent act. And we can arrest her and open the investigation again. The intervention team is already on its way. We'll get the address from the local police due to a formal record. She's having one last chat here with Juliet again. Thought about what you said. Maybe you're right. Should take the post down. It'd be better, believe me. Wait a second, somebody is at the door. BRB. Okay, I'll wait. By the way, how's your boyfriend? Still together? You haven't been talking about him as much lately? Or not as much as before? Hello? Are you still there? So, it would appear as though we have arrested Miss Watergate, or we found enough evidence to have Miss Watergate arrested. But we do have a new headline here for a second explosion, 2 dead. Let's have a quick read here. At the Stelligan University in Bonton. A letter has been received just before the crime. Campus of Bonton University. 2 people killed, 3 severely injured. Or the City Administration Office at Bonton received an anonymous letter just minutes prior to the detonation, which again contained the thirst-free stanzas of the German folk song. So it looks like the two events are connected. However, we can't find much more information for today. It's the end of our so-called shift, so we're going to log off and call it a day.